Hard to recognize the king of the herd in that pile, isn't it? The folks at BAE Systems are in shock at what Ukrainians are doing with it.
Thanks to our partners, we have the most advanced version of the 777, the A2.
It's fitted with a digital fire control system, the DFCS. That's the 777's ACE card. But before being shipped to Ukraine, it was removed. The Pentagon was afraid the technology would fall into Russian hands. Eventually, though, fully equipped howitzers were spotted at the front. But Ukrainians started pulling the digital fire control system themselves on their own initiative. So what happened?
The guys are stripping out the electronics so the Russians can't track them down.
Does the digital fire control system actually give away the howitzer's position, or is this just soldier instinct? And the big question, without all those electronic gadgets, has the king of the herd become just another ordinary howitzer? First, we're heading to a firing position to see what the 777 can do in ways the Pentagon can't quite figure out how it's being pulled off without hundreds of millions of dollars. Then we're visiting the location where these wrecks get torn down to the last bolt. Hard to recognize the king of the herd in that pile, isn't it? The folks at BAE Systems are in shock at what Ukrainians are doing with it. But let's start with why the American brain doesn't fit this war. So the digital fire control system consists of several modules mounted on the howitzer: a digital fire control computer, a laser muzzle velocity sensor, and the communication location enclosure, which handles navigation, communications, and coordinate transmission. Here's how they work together. When a commander receives target coordinates, target type, and mission priority, the first thing he needs to know is where his own gun actually is. That's the job of the CLE module, which uses GPS and inertial navigation to instantly lock in the precise coordinates and orientation of the gun in space. Once target coordinates and weather data are entered, the digital computer spits out the firing solution in seconds: barrel elevation angle, azimuth, charge type, and power.
This is the standard charge, which can be reduced by removing one section. And this is the full charge, maximum.
The commander gives the order. At that exact moment, the laser sensor captures the real muzzle velocity of the round, because barrel wear, powder temperature, and humidity all produce a different result every single time. Even a small difference in velocity at a distance of 20 kilometers translates into hundreds of meters of deviation. The sensor automatically applies the correction for the next shot.
The 777 hits far and hits very accurately, so we're doing a lot of damage to the Russians.
For an experienced artilleryman, getting a 777 with the brain is like trading a bicycle for a Harley. But speed and convenience come with risks. The DFCS runs in active mode continuously. GPS receiver, inertial navigation, digital communications, all of it radiating an electromagnetic signal. For self-propelled howitzers, that's dangerous too, but they can immediately relocate after firing. A towed 777 cannot. So for crews fighting from fixed positions, that's a serious problem. The towed 777 has a range of 24 kilometers with standard rounds. Today, that's roughly the distance to the front line.
About 8 kilometers to the Russians.
That means the 777 is firing practically from the front edge of the battle area. Radiating a signal in those conditions is basically handing a burglar a key to your front door, because Russian EW systems run non-stop and cover dozens of kilometers. That's exactly why Ukrainians are pulling the CLE module, without which the whole system goes dark, and switching to what they call radio silence mode. But that does not mean the 777 is shooting blind.
We have a target, Russian trench positions. We're about to make their trenches a little deeper.
Before you see what Ukrainians are using instead of the American system,
don't forget to subscribe to the Weapons of Victory channel and hope to see you soon. And all of this weight will fall to the Russians' heads.
Ukrainians have proven that the 777 can operate completely independently. The commander holds a standard tablet running the Kropyva app, which ties reconnaissance and fire assets into a single shared operational picture. Any Ukrainian unit can enter coordinates of detected Russian positions or equipment directly into the system. By NATO classification, this falls under the C2 type, command and control. It means the scout and the artillerymen are looking at the same screen. Scouts don't need to call the artillery. Commanders don't need to call the scouts. Everything is in the app. The battery commander simply distributes targets between gun commanders, and from there it's straightforward. The Kropyva combat control system has a ballistic calculator built in for the 777. Once the gun coordinates, target coordinates, and weather data are entered, the app outputs barrel elevation angle, azimuth, and charge type. The gunners use classic mechanical sights and an optical panoramic sight, spinning the hand wheels manually the old-school artillery way until the mechanical scales on the howitzer match the numbers they were given. Then the commander gives the order.
Заряжать! Пострел!
If the howitzer is properly zeroed, the margin of error is around 3 meters.
Just keep the shells coming. 2 or 3 rounds, and the crew conceals the gun, barrel lowered to the ground, branches thrown on top.
Everything's clean, actually perfect.
When a target is destroyed, it disappears from the app. And no, this is not a product from BAE Systems or Palantir. Kropyva was born in volunteer chat groups. People at the Pentagon genuinely don't understand how something like this happened without hundreds of millions of dollars in investment. But none of this means 777 crews are safe, because counter-battery fire is very much still in play. Russian radars are scanning the sky non-stop. The 777 is being hunted hard.
Quiet. Sounds like artillery working, but not on us this time. When we hear it coming in, we'll have about 10 seconds to find cover. Better to hit the ground immediately.
A counter-battery radar doesn't need a GPS signal. It needs a shot. While the shell is still in flight, the radar tracks its trajectory. In fractions of a second, the algorithm works backward along that trajectory and locates the firing point with accuracy down to tens of meters. Those coordinates go straight to an enemy battery. From the moment the 777 fires to the moment the return strike lands, it's just a few minutes. That's why artillery crews never bunk near the gun. The 777 takes the counter-strike alone. Even deep fortified gun pits often don't save it.
Our howitzers have taken hits from Lancets, Grad MLRSs, and Krasnopil rounds, but we always bring them back.
Wounded howitzers end up here. Hard to recognize the king of the herd in that wreckage. Can they be restored? Hard to believe, but yes.
Western partners don't get it. For them, it wouldn't even qualify as scrap metal, let alone something worth repairing.
Ukrainians can't afford to throw a gun away, because a replacement might never come. So they strip whatever's left of a 777 down to the last individual part. Every piece that survived might be needed later, because from those pieces, they essentially build an entirely different howitzer. But some components have to be restored from scratch, and that's where things get complicated.
Look at the size of the shrapnel coming in.
Titanium gun, that's another name for the 777, because titanium is used extensively throughout its construction. That metal cut the system's weight nearly in half compared to similar howitzers. But it became a problem, because titanium is not ordinary steel.
The guns come in with all kinds of damage. A lot of it is shrapnel damage.
Ukrainians have mastered the technology of welding titanium surfaces on damaged artillery systems. This had never been done in Ukraine before, because titanium is a demanding metal, and only a handful of people in the entire world can weld it without cracks or deformation.
We're in contact with our Western partners. In video calls, we broadcast the entire 777 restoration process and other details. In some cases, they're learning from us. They say so themselves.
BAE Systems, after seeing Ukrainian repair shops, was so impressed it opened talks about cooperation, starting with maintenance work in Ukraine and potentially moving toward production down the line.
Some guns come back a second, third, even fourth time, because I recognize my own welds.
The scale of artillery fire in this war is apocalyptic. So 777s need restoration not only because of combat damage, but simply from physical wear and tear. With spare parts running short, even solutions like this become relevant. That's a hydraulic pneumatic accumulator pulled from a tractor. At that point, the question of whether the 777 is a British howitzer or an American one stops mattering entirely. The real question becomes whether it's even a 777 at all. Let everyone resolve the George Washington's axe paradox for themselves. But the main question remains, is the M777 still the king of the herd in a war where hundreds of FPVs are circling in the sky at any given moment? Is restarting production of these howitzers actually a mistake? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And in these playlists, you'll find more videos about Western artillery fighting in Ukraine. Stay safe. Support Ukraine.